Another month gone and some more great buys to be had. I have quite a few actually this time, so let's get to it. The first one was actually kind of an impulse buy. I was in a future shop and just browsing around and came upon BioShock 2 for $9. Brand new. So I figured, why not pick it up? I'm okay with spending 10 bucks on a new PS3 next gen game type stuff, especially if it's one of the more popular titles. So yeah, I picked that one up. Then, if you recall, I got a Best Buy gift card for Christmas, and I still had a little bit of money on it. I think it was like $2.43 or something. So while in the Best Buy, I was looking around, at the DVDs, the Blu-rays, and video games and such, looking for something cheaper, so that I didn't have to spend a lot of money extra and put the $2 towards it. So I was looking, video games, again, around $10 and see what was there. And I came upon a DS game for $5. So basically, when it worked out, it ended up only being $3, and what I picked up was Glory of Heracles, which looks like kind of like a Greek mythology RPG of sorts. So that was kind of a good find. Now, I was doing my rounds online and such, and after having sold the Xbox that I was trying to get rid of for the $100, mind you, and only having to switch out one game, I switched out the LA Rush for Mech Assault 2. So I had $100 to go out and spend on more Xboxes, of course. So I found a guy, and he was looking for, he had an Xbox with 26 games for $45. Contacted him, see what was up with the deal. Were the games good? Was everything working? He said everything was working, and seemed like a good deal. 26 games, an Xbox, $45. I'm willing to pay that. Now, he eventually emailed me back saying he didn't have the power cord for the Xbox, because he had actually had to use one of the cords from his other systems to test it. So I said, well, that being the case, would you take $40? He said yes. So $40, 26 games, and an Xbox. Why not? So what I got was, obviously, the Xbox system. It does work. It's pretty good condition. It's a little dirty, but I've had worse. Again, it didn't come with the power cord. Not a problem. I do have extra power cords. This was the AV cord for it. As you can see, it's a little worse for wears here. Basically, it's, from wrapping it around and around, all the wires inside have become coiled and twisted, so not a problem. It still works. That's what we'll go with. Now, in the games, there were 13 Xbox games and 13 PS2 games. Oh, and it also came with the controller, Mad Cat's orange controller. It works mostly. The joystick portions for it aren't in the best of condition. Good response, but the rubber's all worn out. But this controller, really, it's the A button. It works, but it's pressed so far in that you really have to push it to get it to do anything. So really, it's kind of a write-off unless I can fix that. But anyways, getting back to the games. 13 Xbox, 13 PS2. So let's go through what I got. Enter the Matrix. Amped. Capcom Classics Volume 1. Full Spectrum Warrior. This one was too dirty or scratched, so it wouldn't play. But I already have a copy of that, so I'm not too Not worried about that. Crash Nitro Kart. EA Sports MVP Baseball 2003. ESPN NHL 2K5. Italian Job. Again, case and cover aren't that great, and the disc is really scratched, so it didn't play. So maybe I'll be able to salvage it. I don't know. Got NHL Hits Pro. EA Sports Rugby 06. And then the ever popular Star Wars The Clone Wars and Tetris Worlds Dual Pack. EA Sports NBA Live 06. This one again was scratched and dirty to the point where it wouldn't play. And then I was supposed to get EA Sports Madden 2003, but no game. So got an empty case for that. Then on to the PS2 games. The one game that I was really looking forward to, because I didn't have it, was Maximo Ghost of Glory, and it was one of those things that I've always wanted to pick up for the PS2 or any system really, but no game. So that's two games that, you know, didn't even come with the system. Then I had 2K Sports NHL 2K7. This one was damaged or dirty to the point where it wouldn't play. And the rest, most of it are sports games. So sports games, basically you figure about $2 a disc. Any more than that, and it's not really worth it. There's too many out there, and most people are just looking for the newest year anyways, so they're kind of outdated. But EA Sports MVP Baseball 2004. Let's see. World Tour Soccer 2005. EA Sports Madden 2005. NCAA 06 March Madness. This one I actually really like. This is one of those ones that if you're going to get any sports games and you're not really big into sports, NFL Street, tons of fun. Think of it similar to, you know, like if you're going to do a basketball game, you might want to go with, what is it, NBA Jam or something like that. EA Sports NHL 2004. EA Sports NCAA Football 2005. NBA Live 2005 from EA Sports. The only other non-sports game, Tokyo Extreme Racer 3, though it is, I guess, technically, like racing, so. Here's another one, NBA Ballers. This would be good if you want to get a basketball game, but you don't really want to be making your teams and following your roster and doing a whole, you know, season's worth of basketball or something like that. If that's not really your thing, that's a great one to just be like slamming the ball and the street basketball games and stuff like that, 2-on-2, 1-on-1 type stuff. And finally, EA Sports Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004. So yeah, even with all of the bad things that came out about this deal that I wasn't expecting, I'm pretty cool with it. You know, $40 for everything we got there, still less than $2 a game. Once you get, you know, figure that there's an Xbox in there, and there are a few of these games that I didn't have, especially the PS2 games. With a little bit of cleaning up and such, they'll be decent additions. They aren't perfect condition, but I can live with what they are right now. So really, not a bad deal. But it's not the only deal I made. So I'll let me stop the tape here, and we'll come back and I'll show you that one. Okay, so the deal with this particular one, again, an Xbox system, had something like 24 games. He wanted $40 and came with 4 controllers. Didn't list the games. I just said, I'll take it. I don't care. As long as everything is working and in good condition. And he said, yeah, you know, most of it's like mint. I was like, okay. A little weary, because anytime anybody says, oh, it's mint condition when it comes to this stuff, usually means it's broken. But, so, I went there, and good thing, it was in a kind of a poor area of town, so wasn't looking too bright when I showed up there, but the guy came down, and he had everything. The box had, pull it out here. If you can read that. But it's a GameStop EV Games refurbished Xbox system box. So, obviously wasn't bought new. But it did come with original Xbox video cable. I don't believe this is original, but it's a functioning power cable. It's quite long too. And it came with an Xbox, which was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's clean. It's basically, when I sell something, this is how it looks. So I was quite surprised to have it in this condition. It works perfect. The tray itself works 99% of the time, and the last one little percent, you just got to give it a little nudge and it'll work. Now, it also came with 4 controllers. None of them are original Xbox controllers. There's a, let's get this out here, a blue GameStop controller, which is basically the same as the Xbox controllers. There's a, what is this one? This one's slightly different. Also a GameStop. Has rubber controls on the, or rubber grips on the side. The second knob here is missing the rubber portion of it. But yeah, a little bit different feel and configuration, the way the buttons are done up. Got this black one, which is another GameStop controller. It's roughly the same as the Xbox controller. The knobs on it are hard plastic. I don't know if they had rubber on it and it's just coming off or what, but works, so can't really fault that. And the last one is slightly different. Actually, it's a hip gear controller. Different feel, same type of shape, but slightly different. Buttons are a little bit different as well, so it gets a little bit to get used to if you've been playing the other ones. But again, it works, so I'm not complaining. Now, in terms of the games, I got, here we go, The Warriors Unreal Championship, Ultimate Alliance, True Crime New York City, which seemed to start up fine and play, but I got a little bit into it and it shut down. So it's obviously got some nicks or something on there that are causing it to not function properly. Tony Hawk's Underground, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, which works, but it's missing the plastic portion that keeps the cover in. So he had the cover inside, and so it's a little bit bent and such. But other than that, it's in decent condition. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3. Ghost Recon, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Moving on, Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Project Gotham Racing, the Platinum Hits Edition. FIFA Street. Again, this is another one of those games where it's a small, so it works out pretty well. Let's see, Midnight Club 2. Medal of Honor Frontline, Platinum Hits Edition. Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects. Halo 2. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. FIFA World Cup Germany 2006. Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. EA Sports FIFA Soccer 2005. Dead or Alive 3. Army Men Sarge's War, which is actually like a first-person shooter for the Army Men. It's kind of cool. 2002 FIFA World Cup, obviously a soccer fan. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dawn of Destiny, with no game. And then I had this case here, which contains Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance and New Legends. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this because a lot of it I didn't already own, and like he said, it's almost mint. Like, these discs are in really, really good condition. I mean, some of the stuff that he bought used, I'm sure it probably wasn't him who had damaged the discs at all, but these things look, for some of them, hardly played at all. So that was quite surprising, and considering I was going into it blind for $40, I'm ecstatic about this buy. But that wasn't the best buy. Yes, there's another one for January. And let me stop tape here and set up for that one. Okay, so the third pickup that I got was actually purely by fluke. I was searching around looking for Sega items, and I saw one of the listings came up, and it was for it was a Palm device, and then it's, you know, at the end it said Sega and ... and obviously it had been cut off, so I figured I would take a look and see what it was, and it actually came up with something I had never actually seen before. So I did a little bit of research, and turns out that this item is somewhat rare, and so he only wanted $15 for it, so I couldn't pass it up. I said, sure, not a problem, I'll give you the $15, and I'll get it. He said everything works. So what it was the Sega Pico learning system in box. Now the box is a little bit beat up, but he also had an extra game in box, which is the Lion King. Now the thing about the Pico system is it is a learning game, so it's for kids, which is one of the reasons why it's rare. One, because it is for kids, there wasn't as much demand for it in terms of the gaming crowd. So when it was basically no longer available, it didn't really stick around very much because people weren't buying it up and keeping it around. Kids would have it. You might find them in garage sales and stuff like that, but generally they went in the trash. Again, boxed is even harder to find because, well, it's for kids. Generally, you take it out, kids play with it, you don't need the box anymore, considering how big that box is compared to what the unit is. Now, what it is it's pretty cool. It's a learning system where you get these sort of like books that go into it. They're like cartridges. Well, it is for the young. There are quite a few games built into all these cartridges. There's a lot of mini games, basically. In addition to things like adding and subtracting or spelling. There's some arcade type games, depending on which ones you pick up, and it's actually quite fun. Obviously for a younger age group, but I mean, yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. It was different. It uses a stylus. It's quite advanced, and it's rugged. Oh my gosh, because it's for kids, this thing is near indestructible. So, not only is it rare, but it's getting rarer as you go along because, well, it's not made anymore. So, if you do happen to see one of these, especially if you see one with a box, pick it up. Now, this box is in rough shape. It's got tape all over it and stuff. Hopefully I can do a little bit of restoration work on it. But even with just a box, it doesn't matter what the condition is. One of these systems runs about $80, and I'm sure that'd be higher if the demand was there. But I'll have to see how many games there are for this system and see if I can pick them all up. It came with one game, which was some, I don't know, it was an interesting game. What was it? Storyware Huckle and Lowly's busiest day event, or at busiest day ever. So yeah, and I mean, you look at these things, they're ages 3 to 7. So obviously it's for young people, but I thought it was pretty cool. You know, I was driving around a car and stuff. I was doing hopping around, doing sort of like Simon memory games and such. And you know what? I play those kind of things on, like, you know, your portable flash devices or online now to kill time anyway. So it's not a far cry difference. And considering that when this came out and what's involved in this system, this is pretty impressive. So yeah, that was the third and final, and what I think was probably the best pickup. I wish the box was in better condition, but for $15, I'm not going to pass it up. It's pretty much, as far as I can tell, fully complete. Everything's there, and with the extra game, all I have to do now is track down the others and hopefully be able to repair this box, and I'll be golden. Till next time, this was Rob for more Dakka 101.